It's another Celebrity Friday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies of Your View. Hello, ladies.
Hello. Good morning.
How are you guys doing today?
We're good. I'm excited.
It so happened that we just had the same team yesterday. So we're going to start from fireworks. How are you doing, Mariam?
I'm doing good. As I've been talking throughout the week, it's tomorrow is 24th of trees. Yes, we're planting trees. Someone in the Lagos group is organizing an eco tour, so we're going to go there and understand everything that's happening with our environment. We're putting trees, we're planting trees, and we'll get plants to take home with us.
I can't plant trees in somebody else's house. Like, it's not my house.
It's your planet. You can plant trees anywhere.
In somebody else's compound.
You talk to the person. The person is the owner of the house is supposed to be planting trees as well. Yes, everybody's meant to plant trees. We really need to look into the damages. I mean, we need trees in order to curb the damages to our environment. We need to do that.
I totally agree. It's just that I'm considering sometimes when you plant tree close to the fence, it can uproot the fence when it grows very well. If you plant trees close to the house, yes. So I'm going for what we are going to attend an occasion tomorrow. It's a movie premiere. Inshallah, my kids are not around, so it's mommy and daddy alone.
No wonder you're glowing. You'll be looking quite fresh.
Yes, they are with grandma. God bless. God will bless you. And daddy, because my dad is also doing full-time work. I'm telling you, daddy is bathing kids, feeding my dad and my mom. God bless you. I'm so blessed. I slept. Nobody came to knock on my door this morning at 5 a.m. to ask me for water. Mommy, water. It's too dark. So I'm really enjoying it. And I think that I need to continue to pray for my parents and all of us that have parents that can do this should not just take it for granted that we have someone, but I'm enjoying. Yeah, so I'm grooving tonight. I told my husband, this night I'm gonna deal with you.
Walk around the house. anyhow you choose.
I'm alone. As my husband said, you're taking advantage of this thing. You just have you closed the windows?
I didn't even.
Doctor, thank you for reminding me the blessings that I have that I don't count. I'm feeling jealous about my son and his mom this morning. So I was saying to Miriam, but my banter is on the waste management in our area. Well done to Loma. We've seen your work. We've seen your bean carriers and everything. But at that Maza point, just going up into Mount too. The pigs were there eating this morning. It was very, very painful.
I let the pigs enjoy.
And then the Apapa area, I got feedback that they don't got in there at all. We don't want an epidemic in Lagos. You know, we were completely abandoned before, and now that you have come, welcome. But then the roads are under construction, and we have to deal with traffic as well. I got home after 6 yesterday, sitting in traffic. But it's welcome if people just complete it quickly. Don't abandon it halfway.
I don't want to hijack your banter, but I wanted to add to our gist. What are your plans for the weekend? Then I can now add my own.
Oh, no, I already said it yesterday. I'm going for the mentorship program organized by Wale Adenuga. And he invited me, and again, actually, I got another one, similar request for Tuesday next week again. So I feel like a mentor right now, you know.
But you are.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm going to. So I've been called again on Tuesday to a church on the island, and I'm excited about that also. We're going to have a round table still and talk to young people. I guess they just need real role models. We lack role models in Nigeria because there are lots of glitz and glamour. We don't really know the stories behind this. So it's important that people start talking and telling their stories.
Bring the opportunity.
Those platforms are great to bring this opportunity to have that conversation so people know exactly what you're doing, because we don't want all these glitz and glamour. You realize that
they see the end. They didn't see the beginning, they didn't see the process. So the young people are not understanding that there was a process, there was a build up to this, what you are seeing now that you think is all glamorous. But I want to quickly beg our Lagos federal government, because it's a federal road, but it's under division of Lagos, and it's caused major traffic. If you're going into Ojota right now from toll gates, that turning, we went through it every time we're going to pick up our kids from school last week and upper week. The road is terrible in front of Total Filling Station. Ojota Total Filling Station on this side has been abandoned, and trailers pass through it. So you end up spending...
Trailers tilt like this towards you. And if you're beside the trailer, you're risking your life.
My worry is that we don't want to wait until maybe something turns, we have loss of lives. The pit has gotten really big by Total before Ojota, if you are going from toll gates. That bend beside the bin, maybe Olusosun. So people are now passing Olusosun. The Olusosun route is bad also. Please, Lagos State, we know that you can respond to this thing very fast. Help us to avoid and avert a disaster.
Break. When we come back, police your view. I've just spoken.
Monitoring spirits.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Governors give condition to refund 614 billion naira to federal government. 131 Nigerian refugees returned from Cameroon. Wadume testifies before Defense Headquarters panel as more suspects are held. Government to probe those linked to the $9 billion UK ruling. Court rejects Olubadan chieftaincy truce plan. And Fatou Oyinbo shunned our panel, says PFN. All right, which one are we taking? Let's start with the Cameroon refugees.
Yes, refugees. So the Minister Humanitarian Services, Disaster Management and IDP persons, Sadia Farouk.
The new ministry.
Yes, the new ministry. She received 133 refugees from Cameroon. These are Nigerians that fled Adamawa and Borno states because of Boko Haram. She says that there are over 80,000 Nigerians in Cameroon right now, and we have received about nearly 500 of them so far. So we're welcome home.
Okay,
we're welcome.
We're happy about that.
Yes.
Wadume is still singing.
Yeah.
Saying that lots of army captain were on his payroll. At least one army captain was on his payroll, and quite a number of others. There was an entire network of people who actually supported.
They also talked about the banks. Banks, yes. So he was paying, so they were on payroll. So they went to those banks and just
confirmed. We've always felt
that
there was.
Is still waiting before we have a charge against them.
I've always felt that there is something fishy about when kidnappings take place and there is no quick response from police officials and all of that, because this is showing that some people have been settled to keep people away. And so Fatou Oyinbo's story is pretty short. Emma Isong is the publicity secretary for PFN, that's the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. They started this investigation into the accusation against Biodu Fatou Oyinbo of Koza concerning Busola Dakolo's rape allegation at 16, and they said that they've closed the panel, and the result is inconclusive because they couldn't get Pastor Biodu Fatou Oyinbo to show up to answer the questions. That's the end of the story.
They lack the powers to prosecute or investigate it. No, to investigate it anyway. It's a crime. I believe that
he was willing to listen to whoever
the most serious person I would like to listen to is the police, who's taking both sides of the case, and they've invited all parties.
All right, The Punch, EFCC, ICPC, beam searchlight on fraudulent banks, says federal government. 4 killer cops dismissed, remanded in prison. Thank God for that. That was a good one. PFN ends rape probe Prophet Ambition's panel. Woman beats daughter to death and flees with the corpse. 14 feared dead in Ilorin Jeba road crash. Police salaries unchanged 10 months after pay rise. Oyoita at work presidency insists no retirement letter. Afenifere Pronako reject Akintoye's emergence as Yoruba leader. Governor's kick as federal government demands 614 billion naira bailout fund. Let's celebrate. 2
stories quickly on the 2 human interests. So this woman had come into the hospital with a 4-year-old daughter who had injuries from horsewhip. So she was well beaten. And unfortunately, she brought her in dead. The doctors confirmed that she was dead. And the moment she was told, she picked up the body, ran away, so they don't have her identity. And she wasn't properly checked in because it was an emergency. And
so the hospital actually reported to the police.
So
just for the record.
The police are searching for her.
A dead baby.
A dead baby, yes. Properly beaten baby.
Yeah, so the hospital, the doctors tried to resuscitate her. Immediately she was brought in.
The stories is that no pulse, dead.
Okay.
Well, Punch is different from, I think, Daily Trust, so there are a few different
they said they tried to resuscitate her, but confirmed.
I wanted to quickly take the 4 policemen who story broke this week for killing 2 suspected phone thieves, and this week they were immediately tried by a police panel for 3 anti-service rules, and immediately they were charged yesterday at a magistrate's court in Yaba this week. So let me just give a bow to what we expect of the Nigerian army in the killings of the when a case is obvious like that and the facts are open like that.
There's no need for a panel on Wadume's case. There's no need for a panel.
Open and short, but
no need.
Since they like to waste time.
Oyo-Ita is back at work?
Yes, I'll take the Oyo-Ita story quickly because we've been following up. Oyo-Ita is currently the head of service, and she's been investigated by EFCC over a 3 billion naira scam, fraud in terms of how money for falsification and fraud case, allowance for duty tour, which was not carried out, but the money was paid out. So now, we heard last week, and I took the story that she tendered a resignation to the president. The presidency has said that there was no resignation received by them, by the team, and that she has resumed back to work. Punch tried to find out from her yesterday, because she was in the office yesterday, they couldn't get access to her. She didn't answer any questions, but she's back to work.
Accounts are very Garba Shehu confirmed in it's on that they received it, but she's been asked to resume pending investigations until the matter is concluded. She should continue.
Okay, let's move on to Daily Sun. Nigerians arrested for massive money laundering fraud in the U.S. Suspects involved in online bank email compromise fraud, romance scam in connivance with others in Nigeria. Cultists on rampages in Imo. Federal government to recover 614 billion naira bailout from 35 governors. And Ekweremadu will deal with the perpetrators of Nuremberg incident, says German government. Let's start with the major headline.
Yes, so the United States have 80 Nigerians as defendants in a case for money laundering. First of all, they're accused of being involved in BEC, that's they hack into business, business company emails and scam them from that. Also, they target elderly people in romance scams and things like that. So 11 of them were arrested in the United States. They said they already had 2 Nigerians arrested last week. And I'm thinking it might be one of the Invictus guy could be part of it. So we have 80 names, their aliases, all put down.
Businesses,
so we can, so
detailed investigation.
Detailed investigation, and in such
the kind that we're expecting in Nigeria.
I mean, this is something we're always screaming about, and the Oyinbo man came and saved us in
Let me quickly say that the U.S. government are saying that they started these investigations in protection of their citizens who've been complaining, who've continuously been victims of internet fraud by a certain clique of people. We want our government to be responding to certain local problems that people highlight.
Quick one, the German Foreign Ministry in Abuja has said to Ekweremadu that they know that the investigations are taking place currently in Nuremberg and Bavaria. Well, I'm not German. So that the investigations are taking place to find who these people are, and they'll be held liable. They have enough evidence and they are working on it. This was a statement to the Nigerian government that Germany wouldn't let this happen without anybody paying for what has gone wrong.
They identified 4 people.
They've identified 4 people that would
Moving on to Vanguard. Past leaders will be tried for economic sabotage, says the Attorney General of the Federation. Tension as herdsmen raped, killed 62-year-old Enugu woman. Ibadan crisis, we won't surrender our crowns, new kings insist. Federal government sets up panel to recover 614 billion naira from states. Boko Haram recaptures 2 local government areas in Borno. And I have invested 1.3 trillion in education, says Buhari, for real. And we have the same minister being renominated.
I'm worried about the Boko Haram situation in Nigeria because the president, that was #1 of what he was coming to tackle as his manifesto when he was coming the first time and coming back. His campaign promise that was going to deal with security. And it was one of the things he promised us when he was going for re-election, that we have solved, Boko Haram is gone. Boko Haram has been dealt with. Now we're seeing Boko Haram resurface, taking over local governments in Nigerian territory. In daylight, in broad daylight. This is something the president shouldn't keep quiet on. And we don't just want Garba Shehu or any representative speaking.
Even the spokesperson for the army, even the spokesperson for the army's response this morning on the Gubiu, what's the local government killing, is unnecessary. He was explaining that, the Boko Haram came into town because they lacked food, they came to take food, they were... Let's face it.
There's one more sad story. An Enugu woman, 67-year-old woman, Mrs. Regina Emba, was raped and then killed in Enugu State.
Raped is 60?
Yes. So people came out, put her corpse on the road, blocked the Enugu-Abakaliki road. burning tires, you know, just, but we have security operatives there. The Hausa Fulani community are afraid that there might be reprisal attacks and things like that. So please, let's make sure we...
Okay, we have to run off, unfortunately, but let me just take this last story. This day, Malami vows to prosecute officials involved in the failed P&ID contract. That's the $9 billion ruling that was given to the British, an Irish company actually in the UK. Now, we're going to focus on that conversation, I think, on Monday, because Nigerians need to understand what our leaders have done. We have $9 billion of our assets in the UK is about to be seized. It's seized. Because, it's already been seized. Because of... because of, would I say negligence, or... In fact, we'll discuss it on Monday, because Nigerians want to see the kind of leaders we've had and with the kind of trouble they put us in. Anyways, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll discuss child discipline with Airtel. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So in African settings, especially in Nigeria, parents believe in beating their children in order to instill discipline. A video was trending online about a man who allegedly beat up his daughter to death. And I think also in the papers today, a woman beat up her child to death and took her to the hospital. So the question is, what ways should a child be disciplined without physical abuse? You can join the conversation on 070. You can actually call us on 070-8066-804. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect, and also tweet to us at TVC Connect using the hashtag Free Your Mind with Airtel. So don't use TVC, don't use your View TVC. Use hashtag Free Your Mind with Airtel. So at TVC Connect, hashtag Free Your Mind with Airtel, so we can hear your thoughts on this issue of child discipline. Now, who should I start with? Let's not start with Nima, because we know her views on this. But I went for a conference, and they said that, listen, when you want to discipline children, between the age 0 to 5, there's something called the commando time, where you are a commando, you are law. That's when you spank. That's when you use the rod. That's when you are molding a new child to understand what is right and what is wrong. After that phase, there's a second phase, I can't remember the term. That's towards the preteen. There's a second phase, and there's a teenage, that's a counseling. At that time, as a teenager, you begin to get counseling. After teenagers, when you become an adult, you're now a consultant. They come to you when they need your help. So you can now enforce it more. But the time to spank is 0 to 5. Now, but people still spank teenagers, still spank preteens. Now, do you agree, and what are your experiences? Because a lot of parents feel that that's how they grew up, and there's nothing wrong in them disciplining their children through those means. What are your thoughts on this?
So I am a Nigerian, an African. In our context, spare the rod, spoil the child. And in our context, we believe that there is a level of discipline that can only be conveyed when you understand the enormity of the consequence of you carrying out a wrong action. So I don't believe in just venting your anger and frustration as a parent by beating your child for doing something wrong. Right. That is what leads to battery and abuse of the child, is where the parent is so angry, you broke my TV, you broke my phone, and you take your cane and you beat that child. That's not to correct the child. That is to vent your pent-up anger. I feel that the right way to discipline a child would be to preempt the issues by setting rules and creating consequences of beating. There will still be beating, but it's not out of anger and frustration.
Okay, so recently, a few days ago, my daughter did something that talked to her about it. You know, over and over, she would do it. When she thinks I'm not around, she goes ahead to do it. So I caught her on this particular day, and I asked her to kneel down. And I asked her to kneel down in the compound, and I told her to get out of the shade and kneel in the sun for a few minutes. She even had this look on her face like, what is there? I'll do it. And then I took a picture of her and I sent to her grandma. The grandma called me. I saw 5 missed calls on my phone. What did she do? Please, don't ever do that to her again. This is the woman that beats. I mean, I still have scars from the beating I got from my mom. I could not believe it. I'm like, really, you?
Grandma's
and when I told
kids.
her, she was like, oh, okay, I see what she did. But why the son? I said, you used to beat me and throw me out and pour water. She was like, okay. So then she said something. She said, when I had you, I was quite young and was not aware of, you know,
we need to have that conversation with our mothers, Mariam, because do they feel, looking at it retrospectively, was it right to actually beat us the way they did?
My mom regrets it. She said it was too much. She said, but that was the way she was raised, so she didn't know any better.
My mom feels
by
it
the
was
time
right.
she had my brother, she didn't do that.
My mom, in hindsight, feels that she did right by beating me because she felt like she was beating sense into me. In hindsight now, I'm so happy she beats me because she beat sense into me. Because I was senselessly following one love that was shocking me. And now I followed the love into something else.
You were in love. I was a tomboy. I broke every rule in the book. I jumped the fence, they locked the door, I found a way out, I got in the bag of sand to the bed. I did everything. So I am glad I was beaten in retrospect. When I look at what I do and I look at my daughter, I say, So I started learning from you people and having conversations when there should be consequences. Because the psychologist I spoke with said, if there are no consequences for actions, she might not get them. There will be no rules at the end of the day. And before she crosses to 7, I'll be in trouble. So we started talking. And every time I have a talk with her, she just does what she wants to do and then comes and tries to have a talk with me on, let me explain. Yes. So just this week, I told her, I said, Madam, we're going to start to measure cane. I won't be beating you, no. Now, for every time you cross, before we talk, you take 2 strokes. So she's even negotiating the strokes. That 2, can I have me 1, please? Yeah. But before, I didn't used to have that time. When you do something wrong, you go on your knees, you be in your room. When I'm ready, I'll come and give you 6 strokes of cane for what you have done. But now, we talk, and then she takes the cane. When I noticed my son, I spanked him yesterday, although unjustly. I was wrong. So he refused to, he's retracing his potty training and losing the habits. So he'll be watching, he's so TV addicted. He's watching TV and you're calling him and he's pressed and he's peeing. So I didn't know, it wasn't pooing. I thought it was, I said to him, we've had this talk. It was just like that, we talk. Everything he repeats it and I spanked him. So yeah, sometimes you need to measure it.
I think also because growing up, I didn't get spanked. I can only remember one experience. My father beat me and I wanted to die. It was just a one-off, and that memory stuck. My mother never spanked me. In my house, because my father was a lawyer, and he likes to discuss and have conversations. If you cannot defend yourself or what you did, you get punished. But usually, I was a good girl. I never really used to cross the line. Only once when I stole biscuit. That one, I told everybody that knows me that story, how I was beaten to pulp. But today, I try to have a conversation with my kids, and I realized that sometimes you need to spank. That spanking extremely required.
Just to put the dots.
And I think parents need to be smart. You need to be smart. I used to go to take milk. They will hide milk in the cupboard, and once they go out, I'll find wherever they hide the milk in the house, and I would finish the milk. So what my dad did, he beat me on that one. It didn't work. I'll still go and steal the milk. So they now put the milk on the table, in the center of the living room. Yeah, steal it now. It's right there. But because it was not hidden, there was no need to go and steal what is it.
Okay, but so for me, you know what? There are things that my mom did that I remember till today. There was one time I stole a coin, and I used it to buy gum. What she did, she made me go back to the shop and tell them I used money that wasn't mine. I would never forget that. And it made me, I'm very careful of taking people's things. But you see the beating, I can't remember for what reason she beat me. I just know she beat me. So you see, I think no beating is,
And I remember
what was it?
I remember, I do things
deliberately. Hear your own stories. Let's talk. Please send us your own stories, and even stories of how you've been able to discipline your children or not discipline your children. Hashtag free your mind. Please send that message using the hashtag free your mind with Airtel and hashtag your view TVC. So
you were not beaten and you turned out right.
I wasn't beaten, really. But
I was beaten and I turned out right.
Yeah, so
you were beaten and your parents. We can't agree on this thing.
Yeah, well, I wasn't. I came 12 years after my brother. Trust me, my mother wasn't ready to beat me, and I was the only girl. After boys, they don't beat me. See, I was finished because all my brothers had marks.
Yeah, like I'm the firstborn, so they experimented everything on me.
My younger sister is like 8 years between me and her. she wasn't beaten. So we did the beating on behalf of our mother. Sorry.
If you see his body today, you see marks. Exactly. So trust me. Me, I came 12 years after. They were just pampering me all the time. I was pampered. Anyway, let's go into it. So don't forget, share your own story with us using the hashtag. I think we have a call. Hello, are you there, Taiwo?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm a first caller.
Welcome to the show.
My name is Taiwo.
Taiwo, good to have you.
Taiwo sounds familiar.
My name is Taiwo.
Taiwo, good to have you.
Taiwo sounds familiar.
From the Korea. My take is this. When I was growing up, it seemed very tough. And we felt our auntie is actually maltreating us. But by the time I went for service, and I was able to do my meals, I was able to cook, I was able to do everything on my own. You know, even when I started work, I was able to do everything on my own. Our auntie was a perfectionist. And I can tell you that I lived my life as if I could be perfect because of the kind of training we were given. So the initial impression, when you are being cautioned, when you are being beaten, was that, oh, this woman is wicked. You can imagine when they were teaching us how to wash plates, the woman would hold cane and ask us to wash. Of course, as a young boy of 7, 8, the plate will break. In the kitchen. And when I saw the woman, sometimes in 1990-something when I was working, I was crying.
Thank you very much, Taiwo, for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your story with us. So please, as I said earlier, you can also share your stories online. Hashtag Free Your Mind with Airtel and also hashtag YourViewTVC. We're going to go on a break now. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation a caller started yesterday about will you wash your spouse's clothes? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So yesterday we were having a conversation and a caller called in and saying that his wife refused to wash his trousers. And of course that started the conversation with the ladies. Even after the show, we had a huge conversation on that and we realized that it is a topic that is worth having a conversation on. So let's hear, what are your own views? Would you wash your spouse's clothes? You can join the conversation 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Okay, so I thought this through, and in my own, I know I didn't get a chance to really express my own thoughts on it yesterday, but growing up, I never washed my clothes. As I said earlier, I was pampered. I never really washed anything as a child. When I got to the US, most homes in the US come with a dishwasher and a washing machine, so I didn't have to wash clothes. So even when I got to campus, there was a washing machine in the basement. So I've never had a reason to, maybe in boarding house back in Nigeria, in Corona, we used to wash. Wash your underwear. So that's what I used to wash. So I have never had the reason to wash my clothes every time. Even till now, I have a washing machine in the house, and my help does the sorting and washing. But if I have a husband, and I married a man and he's saying that, Murayo, you must wash my clothes, I'll do it. If that is what he's asking of me, even though my background says I have not done it before. If I feel that's my husband's love language, if I feel that that's what he thinks I should do, I'm likely to do it, hoping. And I believe that because he loves me, he will see how much of this is a strain on me, because he understands I'm not used to it. But realizing it's a strain on me, like to say, Murayo, let's get the washing machine afterwards. But first, I oblige his request, and I do it. I don't see why it's an issue for a woman to say, I'm not going to wash, because your husband asks you to do that. That's my own personal view, but let me come to, because I know it was pretty heated yesterday. Let me hear Nemo's thoughts again, and then we'll take some calls.
Okay, so today I'm calmer. Yesterday we're catching fire, So let's just put it in proper perspective. It's nobody's duty to wash anybody's clothes except the person who wears the clothes.
Okay.
That's just because this is your view, and a lot of people will say those women, they do it for their husbands. So what about you? But what works in your marriage, like I said yesterday, is different from what works in the other person's marriage. What I would like couples to do, especially men, is appreciate when a woman understands and is willing, because she loves you to do it for you. When you put it in a place of duty, you will demand it rudely. You will demand it anyhow. You will judge a good woman by not being able to wash clothes. This is a woman who might be there for you when you are sick, dying and everything, and be able to do everything for you.
And you spoil that because of washing clothes.
You destroy it for washing clothes because all your friends are having a washing cloth bragging. So I grew up with my parents and then a very close aunt of mine. I saw their relationship and it's so unique. This my auntie's husband once was washing certain very, very private effects for his wife. And I was shocked and I said to him, he said, this is my house. It's when I tell my friends that it's an insult. Now my auntie does much more for him, no complaints, nobody hears it outside. But they do it for each other from a place of love. In fact, this man cooks amala the way I've never seen it before. I put water on the fire one day and slept off, and the amala fella was waiting for me waking up. This is some conversation that cannot happen in my own father's house. They will be asking, why would you leave the water boiling? He dealt with it because he does it from a place of love. And now my auntie will never take an advantage of it. So the man who called yesterday started with, my wife is an high flyer, whatever, and then she refused to wash trousers. Two people's egos are flying here. It is a marriage, a partnership. What she can do, and she's willing to do freely because she loves you. Don't put it in a place of duty and subordination. It destroys that love.
Because I thank you for bringing up the part of high flyer, because some people, I don't want to make it look as if everybody must wash. Do what works for you. But in this situation where the man said she's a high flyer, a lot of men judge that woman. Oh, it's because you're now working in a bank. You cannot wash my clothes. Talk about in your own view when you heard that story, and what are your thoughts on this issue of washing clothes?
Okay, I don't think that a woman should be judged as humble because she washes the clothes and cleans the house.
Thank you.
A woman can wash clothes, clean the house, be a fantastic homekeeper, and be extremely rude and not humble or be a good wife. So it is not by me washing your clothes or cleaning your house, our house, that makes me humble and respectful and submissive to you as a wife. So let's not put that together. If my husband comes to me and says, wash my clothes, I won't. Because both of us ego was talking at that moment. If you just give me shirt and say, wash it, that's your ego commanding me. We believe that only men have egos. Women have ego too. I'm a human being. Every human being has ego. So if you throw it to my face and say, wash clothes, I'll say no. Why should I wash it? You have hands, I have hands. So why should I wash it? If you can't wash your clothes because you're very busy, and I have time, I would wash it. If you reason with me as per, I don't like washing this thing, help me out, I will do it for you. We are in a partnership. You are the head of, you are the pilot of this airplane. You are the captain of this ship. Doesn't mean that I don't have opportunities to add value to it also. So we will work together. But when you start throwing ego around, ego will respond to you.
Okay, they tell us that men are very egoistic. And so sometimes so a man and a woman are egoistic. But when you say somebody is the head of the family and is insisting on something, as a wife, are you going to still continue to push that force up? I'm not going to do it because it's your ego talking. Or submit, do, and then find a way to let him understand that, okay, this is not the way it should be. I want us to put it in proper perspective. So yeah, you're right. His ego is talking, it's not him. Would you try to tell him right there while his ego is telling you to do something that, no, I'm not going to do it? Don't you think that will start a fight? Let me come to you. And
I mean, there have been times where my husband and I have had that ego clash. And you end by saying, well, this is my house. And I would laugh in his face like, yeah, right, you know. But the thing is, there are some situations where I know it's just his ego. It's like his last resort. How do I get my way? So I come like, okay, I'm the head of this house. And that's when I know that he's lost his fights. And then if it's something that I can do, I will. But we'll always have a conversation about it. And then we'll. So I thank God for the sort of man that I married. He's not this person that demands of you to do anything or expects so much. He prefers to do everything for himself. And when it comes to washing trousers, please, I'm already washing his briefs. But this is not something he has asked of me. This is something that I do. I do for myself, and I just decided to do it for him. So now, someone said, don't judge a woman because she washes say she's a better wife or humble wife, because if I know some women that get up and say, oh, I made my husband's favorite pounded yam. I woke up at 11 p.m. and I did it. I cannot do that for my husband.
Sorry, I can't.
And it's not, this is the person that washes briefs. I cannot pound yam for my husband, even when he asks. But I was having this conversation this morning with him, and he was saying, really, why do you wash? I didn't even know that you wash it. Why do you do it? Is it for me? You know, I don't. I said, well, I do it really for me. Like, what is it that I can even give this person? You go to the kitchen, you get your food yourself, you serve yourself, you take your plate back. If anyone tries to take it from you, don't.
The reason why I want to also put this conversation in proper perspective, because there are lots of people's marriages right now that are having issues because of these little things.
Yeah, Mariah, it's not little. Let me talk about the ego thing. I think that we must all, as adults, become aware when our ego is talking. Because we must be self-aware. Many marriages are broken because both people are not aware that their ego is what is fighting. So you see a high-flying wife that is contributing and supporting your household, but your ego will not let you just appreciate her. You want to belittle her and say, wash my trouser for me. The man should be aware that this is my ego talking. Why testing me with that?
Why
because
that
I've been a good husband, I've been a good wife. Now, the woman too should be aware that my saying no is my ego talking.
Yes.
So both parties should be aware that it's ego. Yeah. And in most cases, both parties might never realize it's ego talking. So because I'm in this space and I realize my ego, is my ego responding to him, because really, what's there? He's not going to watch it. I'll watch it now. So when I now throw in comedy, so I could have said, no, I'm not washing it. How can you command me to wash? And I see his reaction that I've touched a part of him that makes him feel like a man. With my forthright no against him, I throw in comedy. And because we want to bring solution to people's household, I'll say, throw in that joke. But my darling, it's just joke. It's just joke. So when we throw in that joke comedy.
You know, he said that I do this washing for her as well. So this is not... No, I don't want...
I thought it was a response to that.
No. I don't want anybody... I don't want us to form stories for him. He gave us a story. Let's not...
Was after we told him that...
And then he gave me more information.
No, he was just trying to save himself. It was the last resort. Let me take this call from Taiwan. I'll come to you, Nima. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, there is one basic thing you guys have not mentioned.
Yeah.
When a girl is dating a guy, he comes in, even whether the guy is at home or not, he picks the clothes,
I don't do that.
Everything. Another girl will come, everybody is competing. But now the woman is in the house.
Never.
She's not comfortable.
Never.
Hello?
No, go ahead. You're very correct. That is the situation that happens, yes.
But that's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Taiwo, you are not lying.
She now gets in. She's not comfortable. She has won the contest. You know?
Can you imagine?
You understand?
She won the medal.
Really. It's actually a point of responsibility. When you know the wife is busy, you can assist.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Taiwo, for bringing it, because that's an important...
But why is it that somebody that has been doing something on her own, without any compulsion, without anybody saying watch this, now she gets to the house and she's like, oh, I can't do it.
Can I answer?
Well,
two things, two answers. Either she wants to deceive you and you allowed it, or she loves you truly and then you abuse it later. See.
The initial thing is to impress you, give you an impression.
No. You are looking for wife material now. You're looking for an actress.
Okay, thank you very much, Taiwo. Thank you for...
you are looking for an actress. You want wife material. Personally, okay, well, we did not date, so maybe they did not have time to test me. Someone even used it to insult me once. That you worriedly married, would not even see your behavior. So maybe they wanted to test, and the girls come, they will kneel down, yes, bring something.
So that's faking it.
So some people fake it till they get there.
The second one.
So you people appreciate it. When a girl says no, I remember dating someone once, and mom said,
you gave 2 points. I love that second point, and you are missing it.
No, when we come back, we're bringing our celebrity guests to join the conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for joining us. She's a Nigerian actor, Binta Ayo-Mogaji. She's joining the conversation. Welcome to the show, ma.
Thank you.
She's a
so good
actor.
to be here as
Good to have you. Before we continue the conversation with you, let's take this call. Hello, are you there? You're still holding. Hello? The caller was holding for a while. Are you still there?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
My name is Shifoduton. I'm from Jos.
Welcome to the show.
Yes. I'm just here on duty. Now, there's nothing wrong
in people or men changing for their spouse. As far as I'm concerned, even now, when I go back home in the UK to my family, I enjoy washing my wife's clothes. I'll do anything for her. And my wife enjoys doing the same thing.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it is not even a big deal at all. People right from as far back as 1986, when we were courting, my wife would come to our house. She would watch not just my clothes, even my mother's clothes, my late mother's clothes, and everything. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Woman.
And I enjoy doing the same thing for her. Even I start cooking for my wife. Once I get home, my children know Daddy is here. He will now come and cook his Nigerian food. I enjoy doing that.
Chief Producer, let me ask you one quick question. Did you wash clothes for your wife in Nigeria?
Yes. Oh, yes. For me, it is even the least of the thing I could do for her.
Oh. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that.
Nice one.
Ma, bringing you into this conversation.
Yeah.
Let me just ask you the direct question. Would you wash your husband's clothes?
No, I won't.
Okay.
Why?
One, I don't have the strength to wash because I don't wash my own clothes.
Okay.
If I need to get my husband's clothing clean, I will arrange for it to be cleaned. Not that, but I won't wash it personally.
Even as a young wife?
Even as a young wife.
Okay.
Because I wasn't used to washing clothes.
Okay.
Just like the kind of background you had.
Yes.
I had the same kind of background, so
Okay.
I don't wash.
It's not about ego in this case.
No,
it's about this is something you don't like doing anyway. But is there something that you enjoy that you would do for your husband even without him asking?
I'll cook. I'm a good cook.
Okay.
But
now,
my husband loves doing those kind of things for me.
Right.
He doesn't see it as an affront that I don't wash his clothes. He would rather, when he wants to wash his own, say, baby, where are your dirty things? Let me put them together and wash them. But I said, don't worry, somebody will come in and do
I wouldn't say I'm
washing.
fantastic or I'm the best cook in Nigeria because I have my days.
I'm a good cook.
Okay, so to me, I might not be the best cook in Nigeria, but the thing is, I know I would be willing to oblige him because of love, because I actually do care for him, and I know that it is his love language, or if it is his love language to do such. Now, it might be a strain on me, but when they say wisdom, a woman should have some wisdom. So, do you think that a woman who decides to wash, okay, I'm not used to it, I don't have a background that do it. If I decide to wash it, is that wisdom or foolishness?
Well, it's neither here nor there.
Okay.
Because if you decide to wash it, maybe you are trying to avert some problems in the home.
Yes.
You are not willing, but you have to do it because, I don't want this guy's wahala.
For me, I feel that particular question, I feel that it's better not to do it.
Thank you.
Have a conversation
But
with
if you
him.
don't do it,
No, then we'll
you know that he may or he will understand that I know she won't do it. I just
You not call the TV show and say, my wife has refused to.
No, because you will lead to frustration.
Yeah, no, the thing is, there are many things that cause issues in your marriage. There are many, even some really tiny things. And there's times that you would decide, you come to an impasse, you don't agree on something, but you have sit down and have a conversation, because it's not good to start something that you cannot sustain and you cannot finish. And then tomorrow they'll call on the show and say, you used to do this, but all of a sudden you're on the show and you don't even start it if you can't sustain it.
Because it will force, a lot of women are made into, they do these things to make peace happen. So for peace sake, they will do many things and then they are frustrated. They sit down and they are sitting like, how can I be? This is suffering. So it's not done out of love. It's not out of, I want to just make you happy. And they do so much to make you happy that the day they now burst or a divorce happens, people will be wondering, you say, but I've been doing many things. You will say, do this, I will do it. You will say, wash plates, I will do it.
So
and I'm doing all of that.
So don't do it because you were trying to please.
So which is the story that, we had someone call and say, they do it as girlfriends. And it's true. I remember in university, there's some girls that wake up first thing, they go to boys' hostel, they are washing, they are cooking.
My mom go to their mother-in-law's place on weekend basis to do all these things.
I remember when I was going off to university, my mom said to me, I don't know where she got it from. Was the last thing she said. She said, see, and I did not send you there to go and be washing somebody's clothes or be cooking, which even worked for me well because I didn't even like doing that in the first place. Do you know that when I was graduating, I dated someone when I was in university. When he was graduating, he said to me, Miriam, every other person's girlfriend will be coming to the hostel with food in the bag, in coolers, only you do not bring it. I said, my mother said I should not cook for anybody.
So I have an example of a high flyer woman who, when she got married, thought she was making peace happen in the house. They threw every insult at her. So she took it, he will give her a bedtime. I mustn't come back and see the light on at 10. The baby must be asleep. Carry that baby, win that baby is making noise. She put up with it. She will even back the baby and please sleep, I don't want trouble.
Not a marriage.
Fast forward, every single thing that man thought was a right, I'm a man, broke her. Which is why we need to have this conversation seriously. Your marriage might just be fantastic with a woman who, like Mommy said, she knows that she needs to keep the home. So she finds someone to do it. Don't put it on her and say, do it yourself. You're a lazy girl. She might, like I say pounding at 12. My mother said, no, as an Auchi girl, you might marry someone from home and they will expect of you to pound. So she made me pound at 12. But ask me today, pound yam. I will tell you, see the wrist now, it's paper wrist. How do you want it to pound? I don't like it. I feel it's stressful and it's the food I love to eat the most. So people do things, certain things for you because they love you. But you know what? Just this week that passed, I rolled out the mortar. When my pounding machine failed, I'm pounded down for my darling. I love him. I want to love him. But I would hate that he won't come. Madam, whatever is happening in your life, it doesn't concern me. And he pounded down at 12.
Because we're trying to help a lot of people out there, I think we should understand that. Let people know to understand their spouse's love languages. For someone like me personally, I said it over time that my husband is his attention. You must, don't go and spend time washing when you can.
Let's not use washing with love language.
Sorry?
Let's not use washing with love language. Let's say strength. Someone is stronger. Someone is stronger at washing. I love washing. Cooking someone is stronger at cooking. So people. I know how to cook. I hate to do it. It can be stressful. So his strength as a man. My husband does the children, bases his children, get them ready for school.
Washing for them is not a big deal. They've been washing since like 2 years old. So to you, washing is a big deal. Some women is a no-brainer. So the point is that some people is actually their love language to wash. They can actually. So women like
language to demand of something you don't have.
Not demanding.
Not
demanding.
Hold on. If it's his love language to demand, to expect you to cater to him by washing, and it's not your strength. Do you understand where the miss?
Don't have to understand your love.
Thank you. Understand your
love strength.
So for example, let me get this straight. So for example, if your husband's love language, for example, is buying him gifts. He likes to receive gifts. I'm sorry, me, I don't know how to buy gifts. But I don't
write letter.
Write letter.
Same poem.
Okay.
I even sent it.
Let me tell you, see, my husband's love language is to wake up at 5 a.m. and go jogging. If he sees me getting up and being active, he loves it. See, there's no kind of food or washing that he cares about. He just wants you to be active, dress up in workout. I cannot do that. I even try. I can't cope. So he has learned to know what my strengths are, and he copes with it. So I understand what you're saying, which is, I cannot, that's what he does, and he gets up and he
need to sacrifice our love language.
Yes. So once in a while, when I do
strength.
So once in a while when I do dress up, he's happy, but he knows that this is not something I can sustain.
Okay, I think I have a call. I'll come to talk away. Hello? Okay, a commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
That's Sugar Mommy rule right there. But before we go into your interview, I'd like you to just wrap up on the past one concerning washing clothes of your spouse. What are your final thoughts on this?
Yes, my final take is that for ladies, if you know you can't do it, don't start your relationship off with it. Because when your spouse get used to you doing things, certain things for them, and you stop midway doing them, they take it as you being
arrogant,
attitudinal, or how do you say, like you're starting to have attitudes, they start suspecting maybe there is someone somewhere who is teaching you bad things. So marriage is partnership. forget the fact that washing clothes for your spouse or not. There are a lot of things both can do for each other without making it a duty.
Right.
You know.
Fantastic.
I can wash your clothes. Shortly before I left my home for this trip in Lagos, we had soup in the house, but my husband wanted to eat ewuro. And he went to the backyard, plucked the ewuro and made it himself. I mean, that does not mean that the rest of the people in the house will not eat from the ewuro. You understand what I'm saying? So,
that's leadership by service.
Yes. So if he wants me to now cook the ewuro, would I say, me ewuro say it?
Well, he just did it himself.
So,
okay, all right, thank you very much. Let's
it's got to be vice versa, give and take.
Yes.
If I say I cannot do it now, agree with me that for certain reasons I can't do it, and let it go.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Let's let our viewers know who you are. Our guest is a veteran with an extraordinary presence both on stage and on the screens. An electrifying role player and a sheer delight as an actor in all roles and in all settings. She has won several awards. Welcome again with us, Binta Ayo-Mogaji Oduleya.
Thank you very much. It's so good to be here.
I love your diction. You know, there's a way you just...
Going to go there.
You just be dropping the words. Even when to say Yoruba,
can you see this? I'm blushing. I'm blushing.
So recently, somebody was talking about nudity as a marketing strategy.
For what?
Nudity for either your products, movies, that everybody, sex sells, you know, that if you expose yourself, that attracts a certain market. And lots of people are engaging in this trade now just to get that customers. In your view, is nudity a strategy for marketing your goods and services?
Okay, first and foremost, it depends on what you're selling. Are you selling a pornographic film? Are you selling bikinis? If you are not selling those two, I don't see why, or a swimsuit, I don't see why you should think that nudity is a form of attracting customers.
This person sells creams. This person sells creams, so she got nude as a way to body creams to show that her skin is glowing all over.
If you are selling body cream, whatever your face shows is enough for your hands. It's enough to sell your market that, okay, I mean, this is my face.
Growing up, we've had lots of commercials.
Like
lots of commercials.
Lux and all those in those days.
Yes, they weren't new.
People like Patti Boulay, they did Lux in those days. And something that is supposed to cover all your body. I mean, they didn't go naked because they wanted to sell a washing,
but what about the fact that
a bath soap?
Is a modern world kind of thing. Things are changing, and a lot of people, they make a lot of excuses for things.
Well, there's a lot about pedigree, you know, because I don't see that kind of person using her body to sell a product. Does she have a family? Does she have children? If this thing goes either on the billboard or in quote on social media, on the screen, how will the children, the husband and the immediate family, how would they feel about it? For instance, the children in school may be taunted. They are, come and look at your mother, you know? So it has a lot to do about pedigree too.
Okay, but the thing is, now there are more people doing it or understanding of it than there are those who do not understand it. And I also see like there's a culture where success is measured by how much you make. So for your generation, maybe you would see it as bad, but then if children, like your children, age mates, like I was just saying that when I see this nudity these days, it doesn't shock me the way it used to shock me when I was growing up.
Because it's commonplace now.
It's commonplace. So is there something that you think is there a secret that they may have and we're just being blind to it? That probably there's something to this thing and we're just being too old-fashioned and, you know, not understanding the times.
Secret? No secret. We're just trying to imbibe a culture that is not ours. We are African people. But forget age or being a cultural person at mind. I've been in my business for in fact, closer to 40 years than not. And I've never, ever done a movie where I show more than
your shoulder.
My shoulder. And that is even when we're doing an epic movie where I probably have to tie a wrapper up to my torso. So if I'm still relevant without showing off my body, when I'm on set and somebody needs, this new generator actors wants to act with me, I will specifically call the director and say, this character this person is playing, must she show off? If she doesn't have to, she will not come on set with me like that. That is my own way of correcting the anomalies. But I don't think that's a selling point. If you use your nakedness to sell me like a mobile network, after looking at you naked, I'd try it, it's not working, I'll go off the network, isn't it?
Okay, all right. Let me come to your inactivity in the recent time. We've not seen you a lot on screens. Why is that?
Well, probably you've not been watching the ones I'm doing. I've been busy. I haven't done a stage play in a while. But thank God I'm back on the stream for that. Right now, we'll talk about it when we get there. Probably because I don't go out socially often.
How come?
You know,
yeah, you don't live in Lagos.
I don't live in Lagos, you know, so Lagos is a hub of activities. If I have been here, maybe people are seeing me around, and I'm not so much of a social media actress. It's only the things, the jobs I do that I post on my Instagram pages, and except I want to help somebody do this and that. So I've been working.
So I grew up literally watching you. You know, I've seen you for years on TV. And I look at it that this generation, your generation of actors, were not financially affluent.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a new generation that seem to have lots of money. So what was the difference? Was it that there just wasn't money in the industry, you guys did for the love? Is it that there's really legitimately more money in the movie industry now? And how are you, do you think you're benefiting, and your colleagues, the veterans in this field, are they being carried along in this new Nollywood?
Okay, good. I like your question, that people from my era don't seem to have made much from the commercial theater setting. It depends on how good you are, number one, because I was in the same era with them, Joke, Jacobs, Liz Benson, Shola Shoboale, and I glorify God's name that. It depends on what you see as making it.
Definition of success.
The definition of success. That is, by the way, the new generation that are making so much money, or it seems that they're making so much money, is it basically from this industry? Are these big cars not gifts from admirers? Are these big houses not gifts? Gifts, yeah? Wow. Are they, like we were talking about nudity just now, some of these new so-called generation actresses, they have a selling point. Some will say my boob is my selling point, going naked is my selling point. It sells for them. Right. It works for them. And I don't grudge them for that. Okay. But you cannot be my daughter and say because you want to become a superstar, do such or certain things. I'll let you know that you met me there. And thank God, I may not be a star, I'm a technocrat. Yes. And I know how it works.
Fantastic. So do you think this is something that could bite them, you know, in their, what did they say? What's the expression?
You can have it.
No, yes, like in the future, you have been the way you have been, and you're still relevant in your industry. Do you think that going nude would keep you relevant, or do you think that it may? I mean, when the looks leave, what do you think?
It will have an adverse effect on people.
But do you have that conversation with the young ones?
I do at every given opportunity I have. Okay. I make sure I let them know that it is not what you are showcasing in terms of your physicality. It is what you have up there.
All right. Okay, so Ma, you act both Yoruba and English movies. I'd like to talk about this Yoruba movie industry. Okay. It's supposed to be the one that is more close to us as Africans. It's supposed to be the one that will project the right values, but it's almost like the industry itself lacks those same values. Number one, you have a lot of bleaching in the industry, a particular angle of it. You have new scenes coming up now where some of the movies I see promotes gangsterism. And I sit on these movies. I know a lot of actors. I sit on them. In the name of script writing, the quality of movies that we see,
not pushing the right values.
They're not pushing out the right values. It's almost like they themselves have already compromised on the values and they want to project that.
Okay, good. Your question is in twofold. We are supposed to educate people. We are supposed to be role models, you know? So, what does not happen in our culture, I believe, should not be projected in what we do as filmmakers, because films go round, our films move a lot. They go around, all around the world. So I, for one, I cannot control that because all these things start from the scripting level.
Yes.
If you give me a bad script, I'll let you know that this is a bad script. I cannot do it, no matter how much money you're paying me.
Right.
And if, for one reason or the other, that gangsterism you spoke about, I've discussed it with some of the stakeholders in the business, that it's not even well made sometimes. How can you be robbing on a street in broad daylight, and the people around the street, you are toting guns, and nobody is running helter-skelter? It doesn't work.
So the narrative wasn't right.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello, Yakub, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to your guest. Can I speak for the right process?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. And then I have a question to your guest as well. Quickly, because of time. Morayo, for me, by God's grace today, I'm almost 16 years in marriage. But I noticed that what I know is that since I got married, Morayo, I've never remembered a day I watched ordinary handkerchief. Before I got married, I did do it by myself. But what I noticed is that I was never call my wife that watched this for me before she did it. But another thing is this. I came to realize my wife cannot pound yam. Even if you say she do it, cannot do it. But when it comes to pound yam, I will be the one to do that. In fact, there was a day I told her that can't you do this? And then she was forced herself to do it. But you cannot even eat pound yam. You cannot even take it. Because I'm not okay, in terms of this, I'll be the one to do it. But giving a trust to your wife, and then you comment her, what is this for me? I don't think it's proper. If you can do it, stop it. If you cannot do it, you can even help her. That is that. But the question to Madam Ayo,
I have to run. I have very little time left. Sorry about that, Yakub. I wouldn't let you go ahead. Going back to your career, I know that you're going into theatre. You're working on a project about wives. What's that about?
Oh, The Wives. The Wives is a play, like a serial comedy. You know, it's a serious subject it's attacking, but it's still hilarious the way it's being presented. It's written by Dr. Yerima Ahmed, and it's being directed by Kemi Lala Kindoju. It basically treats the old age story of incest. Yeah. A brother and a sister, they love each other so much. I cannot let my sister go and suffer somewhere. But we are not explaining all that in the movie. It's hilarious, like I said, and it's coming up on the 5th to 8th of September at the Muson Center.
Oh, really?
My colleagues on the program, Kate Henshaw is there.
Oh, really? You're also acting there?
I'm playing the protagonist.
Protagonist. Oh.
Or the antagonist, whichever you want to call it. So I'm playing something close to the lead in the play, the person the story centers around. Oh. That's Auntie May. Then Kate Henshaw is playing one of the wives. Shafi Bello is one of the wives. Kemi Lala Kindojo is one of the wives as well. Wow. We have Uncle Jide Kosoko on board. Wow. So we have Tony Oshinaike, is the brother to the deceased, who is the owner of all these wives.
We have a few tweets.
Yeah, so to say, a polygamy with diversity. You know.
Interesting. Right. That's an interesting cast. How was it getting all that team together? Was he that wrote those? No, you didn't write it.
No, I didn't write it.
How did that entire team come about?
It is Kemi Lala Kindojo. We should give all that credit to. She's the one producing and she's directing as well, as well as playing
a role
in the play.
But what's the relationship with all of you? Is it?
How was it cordial? Set, stage, rehearsals?
It's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, I love working, especially when a woman is directing me. I love it. So it's like women supporting women kind of thing.
Yeah, that's good.
And there's even a place in the play where one of the wives, she had to leave the marriage for about 10 years. When she came back after the guy died, the first wife was now telling the last wife that, she's one of us. She left because she's an advocate for this, for that. You know that she really likes what the wife in the middle had done with her life. She's envious. She believes her. She respects
So it's a story for women empowerment.
It's part of it.
Oh, cool. Really good.
Women supporting women is part of it. Women being
conniving
is part of it. It just has to do with
That's fantastic.
Seems like
women.
a very loaded play.
It is, and I would really appreciate if people can really come out and watch it, because what we're treating in the story is something that it's happening. It keeps on happening with a lot of innuendos and undertones. But when if you are not there, you won't understand what I'm trying to say. Are you going to be producing
anything yourself anytime soon?
Yeah, I do produce movies. I just finished directing one. It's called The Third Parties. You know, as a cast of about 6 people.
Going to be cinema?
No, I'm not doing cinema.
Okay, but no, we'll look out for it.
We'll look out for it. Thank you so much for coming.
But I hope I'm expecting you at the Muson Center.
Yes.
The premiere is going to be on the 8th of September.
Fantastic.
But we open the show from the 5th, and on some days we'll be having 2 shows per day.
We have to run. We'll tell
everybody on Twitter they love you though.
Yes, you can get your tickets before I go. Sorry, I'm not advertising, but if you want to come and watch The Wives, you can get your ticket. Just link us up on.
We'll post it. Everybody gets to tell you. We'll definitely post all the.
But they all know the title.
The Wives, and it's coming up on the 5th to 8th of September.
That's all we can
marketing. You are finished marketing.
Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Okay, bye-bye.